Not a great Friday on the injury front for the Chicago Bears. We're going to break it all down here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. This part of it, not so much. A, I figured Lamar was probably going to play in this game. And B, I actually want to see how the Bears stack up against Lamar and the Ravens. I'm not going to complain if he's out and the Bears take advantage, but a good measuring stick nonetheless. But it certainly appears that Lamar is likely going to be back and play in this game. Now, that is not official. John Harbaugh did not officially announce that. What he did announce is that Lamar was a full participant at practice on Friday, but he did not confirm if he would officially start. Now, you would think that would be the case. However, Friday practices aren't full throttle. They're kind of, mostly walkthroughs. So we'll see. My guess is he will go. They might list him as questionable. I'm actually filming this before the Ravens release their Friday injury report. But he could have a game designation of questionable. But I'd say it's 75-80% chance, if not higher, that he plays. We've talked about it all week. This is an empty the tank game for the Ravens. They have to win this game to get back into the playoff hunt. At 1-5, you fall to 1-6, you're in a really, really bad way. So I think he'll be out there, and the question is, how effective will he be? Because I don't think he'll be 100%. I think he might have some limitations in how much he can run, and that could limit Todd Monken in terms of what he can do as a play caller in this game. But in the end, I expect Lamar to play. I've thought all week long he would play, and let the chips fall where they may for this game, as the Bears are pretty healthy underdogs. And by the way, that number could actually balloon even further, because pretty brutal injury news for the Bears. We said it yesterday. Kyler Gordon and Tremaine Edmonds were listed as limited. Tremaine's fine. He was full today. He's gonna play. He's good to go. But with Kyler, soft tissue, groin, calf, I was like, man, did he get injured in practice? That didn't feel random, and he's out. He did not practice today. Tyrique Stevenson didn't practice all week with the shoulder. He's out. Cole Kmet's out. First game of his 91-game career that he will miss. Positive news side there is this could be a big Colson Loveland game, and we'll talk about the offense as a whole in a little bit. They're going to have to step up. But Kmet is out. Roschon Johnson is out. Braxton Jones is out as well. Braxton must have gotten hurt during the week in practice also. A few guys that are questionable. We can go ahead and flash that real quickly here for you guys before we talk about some of these absences. DeAndre Swift, questionable. He was limited again. I expect him to be fine. He's kind of been dealing with this minor groin thing for a few weeks now. I think he'll play. Austin Booker, Ogbongbemiga, and Cairo Santos also questionable. Obviously, with Booker and Ogbongbemiga, they have to make decisions in whether or not they will activate them. With Booker, they have until Tuesday. That's the end of the 21-day window. So they don't have to activate him for this game, but if they don't want to leave him on IR for the season, they have until Tuesday. So we'll see if it happens before Sunday or if it happens before Tuesday. If not, he's out for the year, which would surprise me. Ogbongbemiga, I don't know the exact day, but they have at least another week. This is the second day in his second week in his 21-day window. So we'll see if they activate him this week. And then Cairo Santos, who was full the last 2 days, but Jake Moody's been kicking well. He has one more game day elevation eligible game day elevation usage left, I should say. That word usage. So we'll see if they hold out Santos for another week. This secondary, man, major trouble. I just don't. You're going to likely line up when you're in nickel. Nashawn Wright on the outside, who's been fine, but now he has to be your number one. Nick McLeod as your other outside corner, and then Josh Blackwell at nickel with Jalen Jones as your only backup. You'll almost certainly elevate, if not one, if not two defensive backs. You have Dallas Flowers on the practice squad, a couple other DBs as well. Could see some 3 safety looks from Dennis Allen with obviously Jonathan Owens. You've got Elijah Hicks as an option as well. One other thing that you might have seen more of anyway, and you might have caught in a break here amidst some not good injury news here, is the Ravens run the ball a lot, obviously, with Derrick Henry and with Lamar in theory. We'll see how much he runs. And they use a lot of multiple tight end sets. which means you can sit in base defense more. That's 4-3 instead of 4-2-5. So you could go more 3 linebacker lineups. Noah Sewell's back from that concussion, so you could play TJ, Tremaine, and Sewell all at the same time if you opt to do so. So that is also an option for Dennis Allen, but on the back end, he's pretty handicapped. I mean, coming into the season, Nahshon Wright at best was your CB4. You could argue CB5, depending on how you rank him and Terrell Smith. Nick McLeod was projected to be like a potential cut. Actually did earn the backup nickel job, but you're playing your backup nickel at outside corner. Has played a little outside corner in his career, but not a ton. And then Josh Blackwell, who's obviously awesome on special teams, but he's your third string nickel. He's going to start at nickel probably. That's not great. Now, Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, those guys have been awesome. I mentioned the Jonathan Owens situation. You can play probably 4 or more base defense than you normally would in this game, so you might find some ways to get around it, but safe to say, like, assuming Lamar plays, this was already going to be probably your toughest test since Detroit for an opposing offense. You're not getting 4 takeaways here. Like that streak of the defense dominating is going to be very, very unlikely. Like, realistically, with how many guys are out, assuming Lamar plays, if you hold them in the 20s, less than 30 points, that's probably a good job. So we'll talk more about this and obviously discuss what the offense is going to need to do, because I think this is a week like Caleb, the offense, it's go time. If you want to win this game, they're going to have to show up. So we'll talk about that here in a moment. But today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but being right on Prize Picks can get you paid. So don't miss any of the excitement this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. This is the best time of year. You know why? Because football is approaching the midpoint of the season. Basketball is back. Hockey is here. You got soccer going on. Lots of different sports. Baseball playoffs still rolling along with the big game 1 tonight. You can have all these different sports in your Prize Picks lineup. You can pick a baseball player, a hockey player, a football player, a basketball player, all in one lineup. You can do players from just one sports, 2 or more players up to 6, and you pick more or less on their stat projections. That's how you create a Prize Picks lineup. Takes less than a minute, takes less than 90 seconds to sign up. And if you hit on your lineup, you win money. Your boy's up like $550 this year. I've been loving Prize Picks this season. You guys should get in on the action. Little 2-player lineup I've got this weekend. Rome Odunze, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. I think he gets back into the end zone. Demon play, those are tougher to hit, so I like the little boost there. And then a little easier to hit play, Goblin play, more than half a rushing or receiving touchdown for Derrick Henry. That's a $20 lineup to win $55. Certain lineups pay up to 2,000 times your entry. Check out Prize Picks today. Download the app. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Okay. So the injury stuff is tough. Final thoughts here. You know, the Kmet streak, kind of a bummer. He's played through a lot of stuff. I am eager to see if this is like a big Colston Loveland breakout. Like, get him, you know, I don't know, 5+ targets in this game. Maybe he scores his first touchdown. So I am eager to see that. Also, I'll give Adam Hogue credit for this little nugget he picked up. The Ravens' defense has struggled a lot against 11 personnel this year, so this could be a game where you sit a lot of 11 personnel with Colston Loveland as your tight end, and then 3 wide receivers, combination of Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Olamide Zaccheaus, and or Luther Burden. So that might be the approach offensively for the Chicago Bears. Speaking of the offense, it's time for Caleb to step up. Did not have a good game last week against the Saints. Didn't necessarily need to. He wasn't horrible, but that performance last week will not win this game. The Ravens are a better team. They're a hungry team. They're a desperate team. Again, I'm assuming all this that Lamar's playing. That's not 100%, but feel pretty confident he will play. And even if he doesn't, you're so decimated on defense, they still might be able to score some points on you. You need Caleb to play better than he did a week ago. Does that mean he has to throw for 400 yards? No. But he's going to have to carry more of his weight. Ideally, you continue to run the football effectively, but Caleb's got to be more efficient throwing the football, finding his guys. The Ravens' defense has not been great this year. Now, I keep hearing all week how bad it sucks. And I get it. This season, the Ravens defense has not been good. They kind of did this last year too. First half of the season, they had struggles. Second half, they were a top 3 unit in the NFL. So I kind of feel like we're going to get a better defense from Baltimore this week. But regardless of if the 1985 Bears are out there or the worst defense in NFL history, this Bears team is going to have to find a way to score points. And they've been able to do that despite Caleb not playing his best ball over the last couple of weeks. So, they've scored 25, 25, 26 the last 3 games. You might have to score in the 30s to have a chance to win this game. You're on the road against a high-octane offense and against a team that's desperate, and your secondary is without your top 4 corners, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyrique Stevenson, and Terrell Smith, who's been out for the year, obviously. Needing Nahshon Wright to continue to play mostly well, but the offense is going to have to find a way. And Caleb's going to have to play better. And what an opportunity. What an opportunity. He played in a lot of these shootout games in college, right, at Oklahoma and USC. If he could go toe-to-toe with Lamar and win this game, that's a statement right there. And that's kind of been the story of this Bears team is they've battled attrition. Every week, someone different is stepping up on the team. This is the week for the offense as a whole and for Caleb to play his best game of the season. And if he can do that, I still think the Bears have a chance to win in this game. I thought it was always going to be a tough game. Now it appears to be even tougher, but I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible. So we'll just have to wait and see how 18 plays, what Ben Johnson's approach is, and what answers, if any, Dennis Allen's going to be able to find. He's certainly found a lot so far this year, but this is going to be a challenge. Now, the good news is, just circling back to the defense a little bit, this is not the Bengals next week who have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the outside. Like, in a weird way, you'd rather be playing the Ravens this week than the Bengals because the Bengals, Nahshon Wright against Jamar Chase, and who cares against T. Higgins? Good luck. This week, the Ravens have good receivers. They have Zay Flowers. They have DeAndre Hopkins. They have Rashad Bateman. Good players, but they're not elite top 10 wide receiver type of guys like the Bengals have. So, it gives you a chance to not just get torched in your secondary. And again, you might be able to play some more base defense. So you still have a shot, like I said, to compete and hold your own in this game. Defensively, I don't think you're going to have 4 takeaways like you've basically been averaging for a month now. But, despite it being a tough offense you're going against, the style of offense and the personnel usage Dennis Allen can deploy actually gives you a chance here. So it's going to be very interesting. This would be a hell of a win if the Bears could find a way to get it. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. But I'd also, like I said, don't think it's impossible. I still think the Bears have a chance to go out there and win this game. But the injuries do make it tough. Let's be honest. It's just not going to be as easy. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears now. Get those score predictions down in the comments. Bears, Ravens, who you got, and what is the final score going to be? Go ahead and let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll have videos all weekend long. And, of course, myself, producer Cullen, will be live on Sunday, 10:45 a.m. Central Time before the game at noon. So be sure to subscribe and join us for that. All right, we will see you guys soon. Bear down.